everyone, I hope you're well. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Abby if you're new here, and today I'm going to be talking about plants that I regret buying. So over lockdown we were obviously at home a lot more, and I was on Facebook Marketplace a ton. So I saw loads of plants for good prices, plants that I knew I couldn't get locally, like at local plant shops or anything, and I purchased a few plants that on the pictures look really nice, but in truth, in person, they didn't look the best, but I thought I could rehab them back to kind of life and they would just thrive in my home. Sometimes this isn't always the case, even though you do feel comfortable with being able to bring a plant back from looking a bit dead. I haven't done too well with these plants, and I think that's why I obviously regret buying them. So the first plant, and I'm not sure why I bought this, is a Satin pothos, and I have two of these already. So this was the third one I picked up. I've actually just cut this. It was like really viney and it was not attractive, and I've cut it back, so I'm liking it a little bit more than I did like yesterday before I did this. But I just don't really know if I needed to buy a third one, and it doesn't look that hot. I mean, no matter how much I water it, how little I water it, I'm not a newbie with plants. I know how to water the plants, but this doesn't seem to kind of like whatever I do, which is weird because the other two do. So this is the first plant that I unfortunately regret buying. Not the plant as such, but this particular one, if that makes sense. So that's the first one. The second one, I feel bad saying this because it's pretty, and the only reason it's pretty is because I keep taking all the dead leaves off. But this plant has never, like you can see here how much it's lost. It has never been happy. And I originally got this one because my original Syngonium, the white butterfly, is beautiful. It's so full, it's like starting to vine. It's such a stunning plant. But this one, it's just really not happy. So yeah, I kind of like regret picking that one up. I actually, for this one, me and my husband cycled, I don't know, like 3 or 4 miles to go get it. So it was like an 8-mile round trip. And it wasn't like super cheap, it wasn't super expensive. I think I paid like, actually I could be wrong. I think I paid like £4 for it or something. But the actual journey getting there was not a quick one. And maybe it was the trip on the way back, it living in the kind of like the basket on the front of my bike that maybe did it, but I don't know. I'm not too hot for this one. I do think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I do think it's a pixie. I mean, these leaves are very different to the kind of like whiter ones here, but it's not like the white butterfly I have, so maybe it is a different species. If it is, cool. But yeah, I'm constantly just picking off dead leaves with this one, so that's a bit sad. So the third plant that I regret buying is this Philodendron atom. And the reason I regret buying it is because it arrived to me, it's very dusty anyway, but it arrived to me with root rot. So I had 2 of these, and I sold the one that was healthy just because I didn't need 2, and I thought I could look after this one and bring this one back, but it's not a good one, and I'm completely over it, and I regret buying it. But I think it was buy one get one free anyway. So again, it's not even about the money, it's just about it taking up a space in my flat when I could have another plant where it is kind of thing. Like, I do need to kind of just give this away and rehome it because it's not my friend, and quite frankly, I've stopped caring for it. I still water it, but I've stopped like dusting the leaves and, you know, going a bit over the top with it. So that is the third one that I regret buying recently. So the fourth one is a really nice plant, but I just don't really have the place to put it. This is a Philodendron Imperial Red. it's obviously damaged, and the girl that sold it to me was very, very clear about the condition of it, and I was totally fine with it because it is a plant that I wanted for a while. And when I first got it, I was blown away with how incredible it was. It's got like really dark foliage. It's just such a sturdy, robust like plant. It's a really, really nice plant, don't get me wrong, but it's a weird shape anyway. So like, it's obviously quite broad, it takes up a lot of space, and I'm not that hot on it to the point where I haven't even given it a pot. But it is a really broad plant, so there isn't anywhere other than the top of the shelves in the second bedroom where I can put it, and I don't see it that often. And I look at it when I do go in there and I think, that was a waste, you know. I feel like I'm wasted with it because someone else can have this and absolutely love it. But it has pushed out like a new leaf since I've had it, which is really pretty. But yeah, there's just something about this one that I'm over. So yeah, I feel quite guilty, but yeah, it's just not, I'm definitely over it. The thing is, it was one of my favourites when I first got it, but it just shows how quickly you can get over them, but yeah. So the fifth and final plant is one that I really wished wasn't on this list. It is a plant that I paid £35 for it, and off Facebook Marketplace, I just thought that was expensive, but it was quite unique. And if you've not seen a previous video that I've done about this plant, I'll insert a picture somewhere so you can see it. But long story short, I bought this plant, I went to repot it because it was in the wrong pot. It was in a red bucket, and there was so much soil, it wasn't necessary. So I went to repot it and it had no roots. So I put it in water to try and establish some roots. It was growing, it was fine. It then started kind of like really going downhill. So since I have lost, I'd say half of the leaves on this plant, and I don't enjoy looking at it anymore. I actually look at it and it just makes me sad that I'm not keeping it happy. I'm annoyed that woman not missold it, that sounds weird. She sold it to me as a full established plant, and later she then said, yeah, it's a cutting, which is fine, but I always think you should know what you're buying. I think you should be completely honest. And I personally would have bought that, but she would have sold it to someone else perfectly happy with that. But yeah, I feel a bit annoyed about that. But I'll kind of like, it's quite a heavy plant, so I'll kind of bring it over for you to see. So this is it. This used to be a really, really beautiful full plant, and now the leaves are like, they're not succulent, like they're all like going black and they're dropping off, and it's just a really sad, sorry plant. I was so proud of this. Like when I found it, it looked healthy, and she obviously just took a cutting of it, so it was healthy. But I bought it home, and the next morning when I looked at it, I found out it had like aphids, it had no roots, and yeah, this is probably my biggest regret, and it's the one that I wished I obviously didn't regret, because the others I'm okay with not loving them as much anymore. I will give them to friends, or kind of like do like a plant swap or something, you know, like so other people can enjoy it. But this one is more of a, I want it, but it's not wanting me. It's one of those ones where I just don't know what to do with it. And a friend suggested I put it in perlite and water. I was going to go get some leca from IKEA, which isn't that close to me, so it's like more for like a full-on trip. So I haven't done that just yet. But yeah, this is my biggest regret. And another reason, thinking about it, yeah, my variegated monsteras were £33. This was more. So I could have got another one for the same price as what I got this for. And yeah, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't dwell too much, and maybe I should just give it away to someone and say, maybe it will like you. And I've moved it. Like, it used to be here where it wasn't getting direct light, but it was kind of like bright, moderate light. It wasn't low light, it was bright, moderate, depending on obviously if it was a sunny day or not. Now it's like the sun's coming in. And I moved it to, because I just thought, well, I was dying anyway, let's just see if it needed more light. I put it in a window that would get direct light if we had nice weather here in the UK. And we most commonly don't get direct light. So I put it there just to see how it's getting on, but it's a really sorry looking plant, and you don't really want to have that reminder of how crappy a plant is, do you? Yeah, that's my biggest regret in my plant journey so far. But yeah, it's a lesson learned. It's a lesson to me that when you buy things on Facebook Marketplace or just plants in general, there is always that, if you're buying them online anyway and in person, there's always that risk of it not being what you think. You could always uncover the roots and find out there are none, or they're rotten, or there's always going to be a risk with live things. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe as well if you enjoy watching my kind of like content and stuff. It really, really helps, and I absolutely love to see my kind of like channel grow. So thank you to the people that have subscribed. And tell me down below in the comments what plant you regret buying. Was it a expensive plant that when it came it kind of just didn't fit your kind of like picture that you had of it? Was it a Facebook Marketplace plant? Or I've seen a lot of people regret buys on eBay. So there were auctions and they kind of just like pressed bid and they won a plant they didn't necessarily really want. But let me know down below what plant that was and where you purchased it, because I always find these really interesting and I'd love to get to chat to you in the comments down below. See you in the next one. Bye.